Hello friends, now we are going to know a little sensitive and tragic story in this video. This is a life-threatening story and a sad story. If you don't like this kind of content, please ignore this video. Now going into the story, a family visiting their home for Thanksgiving Day holidays. A young man who had been struck upside down for nearly 27 hours in exploring Nutty Putty cave along with his brother is seeking for help. What happened next? Let's find out what actually happened. Nutty Putty Cave. In 1960, this was first explored in Uttar State of America. Everyone in America is familiar with this cave. Many tourists come and explore this cave. This story is about John Edward Jones, a 26-year-old married young man. John Edward Jones was born on January 21st, 1983. John has 5 brothers and 2 sisters. Since childhood, John, his father and brother would love to explore all the caves in Uttar State, due to which exploring caves has been a hobby for John since his childhood. It was 24th November 2009, the most unusual and terrifying day in the caving history. A 26-year-old John Edward Jones with his wife and daughter comes to home to meet his family. When John arrives, the family is so happy and they wanted to set off something to explore. With John's arrival, the family is happily partying and in the plan to explore something new. Nutty Putty Cave seems interesting to them. It is located near Salt Lake City in the Uttar region. In the same cave, on April 26, 2003, Aaron Ralston with his hand stuck under a rock for 5 days. After 5 days of hell, he had no choice and finally he cut his hand and came out of that cave. Many people keep coming to explore this cave in Uttar region. Every year 20 to 25,000 people come to explore this cave. John was only 26 years old, had a daughter and a pregnant wife. John is a medical student studying pediatric cardiology at the University of Virginia. The plan of John's family is to explore Nutty Putty Cave on 24th November 2009 and return home after a few hours. But they never imagined that something would happen there. John for the first time going to enter this cave. As a child he had the experience of exploring the caves with his brother and father. Generally it is said that Nutty Putty Cave is suitable for beginners. Even those who don't have caving experience say that it is easy to explore without fear. But there is a section in it which is the big challenging part called birth canal. It is very tight and narrow, which is difficult even for experienced cavers to pass through it. They need to stretch their body and chest, and if they got stuck, need to take the help of the rescue team. This is why this cave was closed for few years. And later on, in March 2009, it was reopened with some orders. The orders are: permission should be taken 21 days before entering the cave, and there should be 2 experienced cavers in the caver group. Both John and his brother had caving experience, so they easily got the permission. John along with his brother Josh and some of their friends reached the Nutty Putty Cave. Cave's entrance passage size is only 30 inches. They all together entered the cave on 24th November 2009 at 8 p.m. Until the first hour, everyone is exploring the cave and moving forward with confidence. Here John, Josh and their 2 friends stopped at a slide, looking at the map and wanted to explore the most challenging section, Birth Canal. This is the deeper section of this cave. This section is very tight and narrow and only few people can pass through it. After passing this passage, there will be a long tight passage. Then after at the end, there will be a space like a small room. After reaching there, caver can easily turn himself and come back. These passages are very tight and that is very difficult for even experienced cavers. They will be panic if they got stuck. John is moving forward towards the birth canal and his brother Josh is coming up behind. They both entered the passage, but the route by which John and Josh went inside is not the route of birth canal. John and Josh entered the wrong way. They don't have any idea of this passage. John moves forward 15 feet. John was healthy and is in a prime time, so easily he crossed many turns and narrow passages. John is now moving towards the corkscrew point. The passage is heading tight as John moves forward. The most difficult is to move forward, and there is no chance of coming back. John knows here is its birth canal. The harder I cross this narrow passage, I will find a small room space at the end where I can take an easy turn. To cross this corkscrew point, the caver body has to be flexible and he should use all his skills to cross this passage. John has crossed this corkscrew point with extreme difficulty. Then another curving point was added where John had to bend his whole body in 90 degrees. So far John has managed to cross all these on the highest difficulty. Now John entered the most difficult section. 5 years ago, on 21st August 2004, a 16-year-old boy, Brooke Clark, got stuck in the same corkscrew section. His height was 5 feet 7 inches and weighed 63 kgs. The rescue team took 14 hours to save him. John is also at the same point now. His height is 6 feet and weight 90 kgs. In this upside down passage, John has no other option rather than moving forward. He is crawling forward inch by inch. He thought as this area is tight, it is the tightest area of the birth canal. If he passes this area, he can get a room space where he can make a turn and come back. He is crawling in downward direction. But here the twist is that John doesn't know where actually he is. No one reached this point so far. He is in a completely new place, in an extremely tight and uncomfortable position, but making himself cool and has the courage to find any opening. After the passage widens a little, John slides down with force due to upside down position. Trying to stop himself from falling, shouts loudly and says to his brother Josh, "Don't follow me, don't come here." Now John has to find a turn to come out of this cave. With the help of his headlamp, John finds a hole there. Looking at that hole, John wondered if there would be any space he can make a turn. But this is the biggest mistake John has made. John goes further and enters into the tunnel. He doesn't know anything about the tunnel. It's completely unknown. John entered into the tight space. He thought of turning if he found any opening, but it was a dead end. There is no way forward. This is the ending point of the tunnel. Here the space is 18 by 10 inches, exactly the size of a laptop screen. Moreover, John is in upside down position, body bent at 78-degree angle. He is trying to push himself up as it's a dead end. One arm stuck in useless position and the other arm bent towards his chest. And still he is trying to take support and pushing himself up. He tried harder and finally realized that he cannot move. His legs also got stuck at the smallest side of the hole. John calls out his brother Josh, who is behind him near the corkscrew point. Unlike his brother, Josh keeps his legs forward and his head back, because there will be an easy return. He hears John's screams continuously and finally reaches John's place. There John seems in inward position. Only legs are visible and the rest of the body is stuck in that hole. Josh grabs John's legs with his legs and pulls him up. John rises up a little and loses the grip and falls down. This process of lifting John went for an hour, and finally both of them got frustrated and at one stage they lost courage. Now Josh understands that they need a professional rescuer's help. This is what both of them decided. Josh comes outside and informs everyone and calls rescuer's team. John inside is completely trying to relax without losing his courage. The big problem here is that John is stuck upside down. Rescue doctor says he can live only for 8 hours. After that all organs will slowly fail and there are chances of cardiac arrest. A female rescuer goes in first to rescue John. Her name is Susie. Susie goes in with a rope tied. Susie's height is 5.3 inches. She easily crossed the corkscrew point. She reached the John around 12 o'clock in the night. By then it's 3 hours. John struck over there. Susie, hi John, my name is Susie. How it's going? John, hi Susie, thank you for coming, but I really want to get out. Susie, oh, no worry John, you are going to be out of here soon. Now John got some courage after hearing Susie's words. But for Susie, it looked very critical after seeing the John's situation. Susie tries hard to pull the John. Susie cuts the John's pant, ties a rope and started pulling him. But Susie's force is not enough to pull the John, and the angle John struck was critical. Susie tries for 2 hours, gets frustrated and comes out. Somehow, outside rescuers are planning to bring John out as soon as possible. Finally, they decided to install a pulley system and pull him with a machine. 5 years ago, Brooke Clark was also stuck near Corkscrew Point and he was rescued with pulley system. It took long time to install pulley system because the passage was tight. Only small machines could be taken inside. So drilling and installing a pulley system with a single person became a huge task and time-consuming process. Parallelly, a wired telecom system has been sent and talking to John, trying to make him relax. It has been 12 hours since John stuck, and he is completely in inward position. There is a limitation for a person to be in such a position. John has crossed that limitation too. His 90 kg body is fighting with gravity pressure, improper blood circulation, and slowly started breathing problem. John is in frustrated state and losing his courage as he got stuck here for a complete night. His legs have stopped feeling. Rescuers and John's family, seeing him in this situation, has become very painful, but they all are helpless. Rescuers are exhausting while drilling and installing the pulley system. They are trying best to pull John out as soon as possible, but it seems John has no luck of seeing his little daughter, wife and his family. John is trying to breathe by expanding his chest. Moreover, the oxygen concentration is decreasing as the time passing. Rescuers are making John to be relaxed, talking on microphone, and his wife Emily also encouraged and trying to cool him. John also replied his wife with confidence that when he comes out of here, everything will be alright. By then it was 4 p.m. in the evening and 18 hours had passed. Now the pulley system has been installed and ready to pull the John. A rescuer named Rian went inside. Rian, how are you, John? John, it sucks. I'm upside down. I can't believe I'm upside down. My legs are killing me. Now the rescuer Rian ties a rope to the John's legs and started pulling him. But John asked him to stop because the nerves become ultra sensitive and cause a lot of pain. They stopped for a while and started pulling again. There is a belief among all the people over there. Now the pulley system is working and there are chances of John coming out. Now again pulled. John comes up enough to make eye contact with Rian. Rian gives an energy drink to John. 19 hours have been passed. All the things are progressing very slow with a lot of effort. But the situation is still impossible to get John out. His legs are touching the ceiling above. John is locked now. John being in the wrong direction made it impossible to twist his legs. This situation becomes worst. In this situation, in order to pull John, Rian finds only one way. That is to break John's legs. And finally Rian decided to break his legs. Now here comes an unexpected twist. The complete pulley system failed. The pulley bolt on the exact opposite side of the John is blown off from the rock. It goes straight and hits the Rian's head, causing Rian unconscious. Partly raised John slips to the initial position. This moment becomes a final chance for John, but unfortunately it failed. Now there is no response from both of them. After some time Rian comes to conscious and notices that blood is coming out from his head. Rian is in helpless state, don't know what's happening there. After that Rian is taken out and sent to the hospital. Now another rescuer, Dave, goes in. It took another an hour to fix that broken bolt. Dave tries to pull John all the possible ways he found over there. But this operation becomes very difficult as John gets no response while Dave is there. It has become very impossible to pull a 90 kg person without his effort in such a situation. In the process of pulling John, Dave got stuck for 15 minutes and worried. No matter how hard he tries, not able to pull John, finally he comes back. Now Brandon calls, the new rescuer goes inside and trying to communicate with John, but there was no response from John. Brandon could not understand whether John can actually hearing or not. Until a few hours ago, they can hear breathing sound and now there is no sound at all. The same he informs to the team over telecom system. Rescue team together decided that maybe John is dead But this should be confirmed only by a medical professional. For that, a medical professional will be sent into the cave. As they expected, the medical professional confirms that John is dead. On 25th November 2009, 11:56 pm, rescue team officially announces that John Edward Jones is dead. 120 rescuers tried back to back for 27 hours to save John, but unfortunately this mission failed. Due to John's upside down position, the way he got stuck became impossible to save him. Generally, anyone in invert position has a chance of survival only for 10 hours. But doctors was admired his courage of heart for surviving 27 hours. Rescuers who went near John are really heroes. They risked their lives to save John. This is what a rescuer tells to the media after the incident. In my 29 years of rescue, this is the toughest rescue. And I lost in this. John's wife is not in a situation to believe this. But this is the fact. John lost his life due to a small mistake. The rescue team will make all efforts to take out John's body. But in further discussion, the operation may become very dangerous for the rescue team, so decided to leave the John's body there and sealed the entrance. This is the story of John Edward Jones. Hope you all liked this video. We'll be back with another video. Until then, signing off. Thank you.